Hey there, it's 10:51 p.m. It is May 7th, and it is already Tuesday evening. My goodness, the time is going by fast. Now, this particular video does not have any like little pictures or anything like that because I'm making this on my tablet. So I'm going to consider this a rather lazy video. I didn't even turn on my computer today. I did get outside for a little bit today. I went grocery shopping just to get out of the house mainly. And then I came back home, and I did a lot of thinking when I was out today, mainly because, I know I've expressed my frustration dealing, with this issue and, understanding the deeper meaning of it and everything that's happened throughout the course of the years, after leaving the farmer's place and whatnot, and obviously I've made it very clear that I was not comfortable with the bullshit that I had to deal with, okay? Um, I understand that there's people out there who offended me greatly throughout this whole issue that I wasn't really aware of. I mean, I knew I was uncomfortable when I was being targeted, and I knew about, the being harassed about my hair, and I did know that there was some bullying about me wearing my clothes, but I had no idea that this was like an outright racist hate campaign. You know what I mean? When you start to think about it, it really, of course, if somebody can't understand why that would disturb a person, I don't know what to say. Okay, and I know that a lot of people, they are so, oh, you call it, they're so, the racism is so deeply embedded in them that it's normal to them. Like I said, they'll sit there and act their racism out in public or whatever, and not even realize what they're doing is like some old bullshit Jim Crow shit that most people would find shocking. Okay, most people with half a brain would find shocking. So when I think about this whole entire situation, and the biggest part that really pisses me off is the fact that I was minding my own business the entire fucking time. That's what bothers me so much, And I understand some of these people, they feel as though that maybe they didn't understand, and then I had to explain it to them. Now they kind of understand the fucking cruelty that was enacted on me, okay, and the injustices that I've experienced multiple times. And of course, when a person has never received justice, they are going to react in certain different ways. Like for example, I mentioned that some people go postal in the workplace, or enact violence. I have done none of those things. Okay, I have tried to pick myself up each and every time and just keep moving. Okay, and what I find frustrating about the issue is that, I'm the kind of person, I want to make very clear guidelines on relationships, friendships, things like that. Why? Because I understand that there's a lot of frivolous friendships, okay? And a lot of people have a completely different definition of what a friendship is. I mean, when I think of developing relationships with people, I want to make sure that my definition matches their definition of what maybe a friendship is, or something along those lines, okay? Now, my definition of a friendship is someone who that you feel that could be your confidant, like that you can tell him something in confidence, and you can feel comfortable knowing that this person is not going to use any information to exploit you. They're just basically listening. They're there for a sounding board because they care. Okay, and I understand care and things like love are very rare. Okay, they are very, very rare. Okay, and you get some people whose friendship definition is, their definition is not, yeah, confide in me so that I can use information against you so I can get into the in crowd or something along those lines, right? And then they don't think about the offenses that they do against another person. They just think that this person's a part of their social circle, and they recognize you as a part of their social circle, but they do things to undermine you as a human being. And this is why I find it offensive, because the same people who do these sort of things want to grin in your face and be accepted as a friend. This is what, pisses me off. And not just in this situation. This is the standard that I've always had. okay? Because little by little throughout the years, I have experienced betrayals, not just in this fucking situation. I'm talking about, like, stupid shit that used to happen on the playground, with kids that would just, like, to me, they seemed rather obnoxious with their, um, name calling and foolish shit like that, right? And so that made me want to put a distance to people with or around being when I'm around people who either try to belittle me or try to manipulate a situation so that other people will see me lower than what I am so that they can elevate themselves. This is something a lot of people do. And mainly because a lot of times people get into these so-called friendships, or I should say frenemyships, where they are around people who undermine them. Sometimes, covertly when they're around you, or they do it, sometimes even right in front of you. They'll sit there and try to, like, belittle you, or like in the case of where, I obviously had this sort of like professional relationship with this particular organization, which I call passive aggressive stupidity. That's an acronym. Go figure it out, right? Anyway, so there was this effort because people didn't want to see me. My so-called friends didn't want to see me as a person with any sort of intellect and somebody who was actually fit for that job or that sort of line of work, because they didn't want to see me as an analytical person. Okay, well, they wanted to paint me out to be a artist. Okay, and obviously, now looking back at this, I understand that this whole thing had Nazi roots, okay? And so when I had mentioned before that there was a discrediting campaign, okay, I realized that this was a racist sort of thing, but I didn't realize exactly how racist it is, okay? The racism, the fact that I had mentioned before about people discussing what it is I can and cannot wear, what it is I can and cannot do, to me is absurd. And I deal with people who want to consider themselves my friend after they considered me or try to treat me like someone that would be considered a slave. Somebody who is not even a human fucking goddamn being. And then want to smile in my face. This is the sort of stuff I make it very clear about what kind of standards I have in friendships. You know what I mean? And so the way I look at it is, there are certain people that you feel an attraction to because they have enduring qualities, okay? They bring joy to your life, okay? So you gravitate towards people like that, okay? It is not in anyone's, it's not my makeup anyway, to gravitate towards people who only want to abuse me. Because that's what it is, it's abuse, right? And I've dealt with this abuse for a very long time. Illogical abuse, long-term abuse, abuse that, a lot of it, like I said, it took me a long time to figure it out, okay? But I knew when I was involved in all of this that there was nothing but wickedness involved in it. It was wicked from the get-go, okay? I had mentioned before when I left Murray Family Farms that I was, like, trying to figure out how I'm going to protect myself. What exactly was going on? There was this intense rage and this intense, like, almost like a hunt for me, like this negative energy. It was all on the streets. It was like everywhere. When, it was terrible. Okay, obviously I was dealing with this sort of intense targeting. Okay, and like I said, when I left Farmer's Place, I was the one who upheld the confidentiality contract. Okay, so what I was dealing with was white rage. I was dealing with white rage when I was being targeted at Murray Family Farms, okay? And then when I was dealing with this issue of leaving YouTube, moving over to Rumble, and all this other stuff, I was continually dealing with white rage. Why do I say that? Because the injustices just got to the point where it was piling up to where it was like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Um, this is the problem um, with my feeling towards, people that are that threatening towards me. You know what I mean? It's not realistic for anyone to think that I want to be their best friend after the duration of time, as well as the offenses that were directed towards me. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot make me feel bad about who I am as a person. You can't do it. And I know there was so many efforts to try to do this, to even try to tear down who I was, my personal character. Okay, this is the sort of Nazi shit that I don't fucking appreciate. So for the people who think that I want to be their best friend, I can say this. I cannot offer you the kind of warmth friendship that that I think that is ideal, okay? But I can say I can give you peace, meaning I don't want to have to deal with this shit anymore. You know what I mean? I didn't deserve this shit. And the maliciousness of it, when I think of, you know, how I have these like little Nazi people, you know, in my life who have been in my life for a very long period of time, and you come to find out what these people really are. You know what I mean? Like I had mentioned, a particular person that I had kind of grew up with, you know what I mean? That we were in communication for a little bit, okay, as adults, okay? It shocks the fuck out of me knowing that this man was nothing but a fucking goddamn racist and an informant. And an informant. Oh, he was saying, oh, you know, it's so cool that we're still friends after all these years. Nice, warm, enduring things that comes out of their mouth, and they flip it around. See, this is why I'm saying about setting standards for your friendships. Okay, and it needs to be very clear when you set a standard for what kind of people that you want to be around. Okay, a lot of times when you're dealing with failures in your life and you're dealing with depression in your life, it's because you are allowing yourself to be surrounded by negativity. And these people who are sitting around talking to you, they're casting their negativity. You're getting sick mentally, emotionally, in every single way you possibly can because you don't realize this person is feeding off of you. They are feeding off of you. And it gets to the point where it's like, you know, I'm tired of it. And I got to tell you, in my situation, I had a lot of feeders. A lot of people who just literally got off on the fact that I was suffering. Okay? Knew the solution of my suffering and sat there and continued on. I have been surrounded by wicked people. Okay? So it should be no surprise that I have the feelings that I do. And I don't need people trying to coerce and force me into changing my mind over people that historically, when people have written about them, would obviously cringe and not feel like these people are appealing to want to be around. Especially when you think about the ideology behind it. Okay? I'm being upfront and I'm being honest. Okay? Like I said, I can be peaceful. I've only been peaceful this entire time. And chances are, I don't know exactly everything about my past life, the CB Braganza. I will be digging into that more. But I don't believe that I'm the kind of person who's ever responded in the way that I have, that, you know, the same way that my perps have responded. You know what I mean? Like this was a big blown up racial issue, and I wasn't even aware of that being a racial issue. You know what I mean? But it proves a lot. And so my standards of friendship is exactly that. You know what I mean? And that's it. I find it very disgusting, if not, it's appalling to me when I find out people are gossiping behind my back, or I find out somebody is gaining a benefit by stabbing me in the fucking back. You know what I mean? And I understand how this gang stalking program works, okay? You have to draw a line somewhere. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and pretend, oh, this person is my friend after they fucking did something and they were affiliated with something that wicked. And they made sure that they would, you know, discredit you. You know what I mean? And God knows how long, you know, I've been discredited. I mean, I know growing up I had no idea about the cloning thing or whatever. But, you know, apparently I got some intuitive messages about, you know, the things that people thought about me and my cloning process and everything. And I think a lot of people knew, obviously, as a little girl, I was a man in my past life. And what they were tripping on was the fact that that could actually happen. So they thought that that was something strange or rare and maybe something that was only associated with the black race, okay, which is really stupid, okay, because it's not. People flip back and forth all the time in the reincarnation process. If you've lived 88 lives, it's very unlikely that you're going to come back male every single time, female every single time. Apparently it just doesn't work that way. Okay, but I have dealt with like bullshit all my life. You know what I mean? And when I found out that I was Prince Alamehu, okay, when I have made my a point several times throughout all my videos, all my 1,400 videos, since 2015, mind you, okay, that I've done absolutely nothing wrong in this issue. Like, I was like following the guidelines when I left Murray Family Farms, meaning they had no right to retaliate in the first place because what happened over there was bullshit from the get-go. Nobody can say that I had any hand in that. Okay, and the only reason why they feel as though they want to blame me for shit is because I was a well-dressed person, because I took pride in myself. Okay, and I will tell you, nothing angers a racist person more than a person of color loving themselves, because they want to correct that behavior right away. Okay, this is that Jim Crow shit that I will not tolerate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let people, put me in a little box and then have the nerve to sit here and have people that I used to know call me so they can sit here and find it fucking funny that they're terrorizing a person. Fuck you. Okay? And I had a lot of thoughts today in my head, and they needed to come out. You know what I mean? Because it's not right to sit here and do this to a person year after year after year after year after year after year. And mind you, this person will never get any sort of medical resources from it. Okay, you can't trust the medical system because guess what? There's a lot of crooked people that I wouldn't fucking trust there. Okay, there's all kinds of reasons why I will never be able to treat my problem. I'm supposed to sit here and carry all of the shit that these people put on you. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, they want to sit here and they want to sit here and call you and check up on you just so they can check and see if they're fucking accomplishing their goal of trying to kill somebody. Yeah, that's exactly how I see it. That's the only way I see it. You know what I mean? So, and considering this is a Nazi plan, what else can I think? Okay, so this is not me trying to cut people down. This is me being honest about how I feel. You know what I mean? Now, I had mentioned before in one of my videos about, inviting people to parties and stuff like that. I was referring to Capricorn 9. The thing is that, same thing. It's like, I can be peaceful. You know what I mean? But like I said, there's the kind of people that you want to go out and get your nails done with. There's the kind of people that you want to sit here and sip coffee and tea with. There's certain people that you want to, just get into, like, all kinds of stuff. I don't think that that's possible, okay? But I can be peaceful. I can be peaceful. You know what I mean? I wanted to say a few other things right now. I have to get on with my life, okay? And, I am very offended by what has happened, which I've mentioned before, okay? And because I come as a messenger of peace in this issue, I'm not trying to rant, okay? But I'm also trying to make myself very clear and let you know where you erred, okay? Where you erred with making this a public issue, okay? Regardless whether I'm a clone or not. You know what? I have the same sort of sensibilities and the same sort of, feelings and whatever, rights. And the reason why they should be rights is because it's an offense to me to launch a racist campaign against another human being. Just because you feel as though, oh, she's got too much, or she's this, or whatever, I'm going to need to lower her or reduce her fucking down. That was I can't fucking believe that this shit would even happen. I'm fucking shocked as hell. Okay? And the more I think about it, the more disturbed I get by it. Because everyone knew from the very get-go while I was making all these videos, and I don't even need to go into the number of it again, and the time that I've made them, okay, that I was right in this situation. So how do they deal with that? They want to sit here and harass me on another fucking social media channel. You see what I'm saying? This is why I feel as though I cannot put my trust in these people. And when you can't put your trust in people, then friendship is impossible. But like I said, I can be peaceful. Okay? So I have to move forward one way or the other, and that's just how it is. I do get the feeling that this particular group is saying amongst themselves, or intuitively feeling, that, that I'm enlightening people. I'm making people aware of what they did. Okay, like, and that's pretty much what I've been doing in the last few years that I've been making these videos. Okay, but what it is that what it is that the truth has come out to light in my videos. I've explained the entire thing. It's like the whole fucking series that unraveled itself in the course of time. Okay, so the problem is, like I said, when you deal with people or an issue that of offense, of abuse or whatever, and it's gone on for a very, very long time, and somebody tells you, I'm sorry, or I'm enlightening, or I'm going to stop the behavior now. Are you stopping the behavior now because I pinned you into a corner where you can't deny it? Or it's really that you feel, see, it's like, I don't like it when I get to a point, when relationships get to the point where you cannot trust that person, or you have to question that person, or you feel that way. But what I feel is normal, and it should not be, coercion or more bullying because you want to prove to the point that you're actually good people or whatever. You want to teach me a lesson. It's like this constant cycle of monotonous, nonsensical racial hatred is basically what it is. Okay, because there is no other explanation for it. Okay, so like I said, when I get to the point where I have to sit here and think, okay, when a person apologizes, I've given this example before, like when a little bratty boy does something and the mother, insists that the kid apologizes to the kid that he offended. It's like he's only doing it because, I'm only doing it because my mom's telling me to. Does he really fucking understand what he did to another person? Or the loss if he breaks a window and that poor old lady, can't afford to replace her window. Does he understand what that kind of hardship that he caused to the other person? Does he fully understand what he did? And can he really feel repentant of what he did? Okay, and I don't want to ask that towards narcissistic people who've carried something on like this for over fucking a decade for their own fucking problem. That's and it makes total sense. So, what else do I want to say? Yes, and I am sure everyone within this collective group they know that I'm upset. They know that I have a reason to be upset, and I'm completely justified in what I'm saying. And I know that a lot of people are talking about me right now. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people were sitting around on the sidelines, either being a part of it because they were getting benefits for doing it, or they were just sitting on the sidelines because they realized these were big, important people who were involved in it, and they figured, well, I'm small, I really can't do anything at all. But whatever the case is, people have absorbed this story. People have seen it. It's been played out in the fucking public, obviously. Okay, so everybody knew that I had nothing, there was no fucking reason, uncalled for, what I experienced. So, what else did I want to say? So they understand. At least they understand that I'm angry, and I have a right to be angry. I have a right to be somebody who wants to feel protective of themselves, because all I've seen from these people was abusive things. I've only experienced abuse from people. You know what I mean? Of these people. Okay, and we know why. And how I feel, it should be completely understood. It should be completely understood without any fucking question. Like I said, I can't be your fucking best friend. There's no way in hell I can ever do that. But I can be peaceful. What else do I want to say? That people are starting to experiment a little bit with, things like candle burning and stuff like that. And some people are getting really good results for it. And I'm really glad that they are. And, I know that there has been, efforts to thwart my plans, mainly because there's a lot of jealous people in this whole issue. And, like I said, there's a lot of people who have a lot of status. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of power. Obviously, they have a lot of power because if you can get away with something like this, you must have power. Okay? But the thing is, like I said, I've always thought that people who had power and people who were well accomplished were never fucking hateful. You know what I mean? And you gotta wonder why somebody in that sort of position would be so goddamn fucking hateful. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too deeply into it, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, I didn't deserve any of what happened to me in my life at all. You know what I mean? And that's all I can say. You know what I mean? And I'm shocked that something like this could happen in the United States of America. Um, what else did I want to say? The jealousy. Um, yeah, the jealousy of me as a person. Um, and that was basically what it was. It was a character assassination, and the fact that I set standards for my friendships, and I personally think that if you are looking for a friend, like everybody wants a friend, okay, but I'm not somebody who's desperate for a friend, to where I'm going to lower my standards, and a lot of people do lower their standards. They allow themselves to associate with people who literally try to drag them down all the time, or they want to set the stage for how other people see you. You know what I mean? That is not a friend. That is not a friend. Okay? When I think about the kind of people that I want to be friends with, I'm attracted to strong women, people who have, like, a lot of self-confidence, people who, that's the kind of people that I want to be around. You know what I mean? And it doesn't make sense for me to be around people who always want to drag you down. Always fucking want to drag you down. Or they want to sit here and, like, dim your light. They want to dim your light. I can't stand people like that. You know why? Because that right there is an indication that they're jealous of you. And it's always some sort of competition with them. And it's not going to work. You know what I mean? People who are constantly always jealous of you, there's no way in the world you're going to be best friends with those people. Because it's always going to be something. They're going to always want to sit here and squash you out, bully you. Every time you say something, do something, whatever. It's going to be a very abusive relationship. A very abusive relationship. You know what I mean? So, I'm being honest and I'm being upfront. You know what I mean? And it's not me being, trying to be hateful. It's not me trying to be, and I know the reason why people were for intensifying their hateful tactics against me when I was speaking out about it is because of white rage. It's white rage. I am a victim of white rage. That's it. Because God knows I have done absolutely nothing to deserve what happened to me at all. So, and I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to say. There's times where, it just gets to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe something like this really happened. I can't believe it. I can't believe that at all. You know what I mean? It seems almost barbaric to me, especially when I think of, the person, C.B. Berganza, and the kind of experiences that he had, knowing the kind of experience he's had, and then you have these people who want to come back and exploit this particular person. That's really twisted to me. I can't understand it. I can't understand it. Unless, of course, we're dealing with something up along the realms of evil, right? So anyway, I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to say. It's good for me to get it out of my mouth, mainly because, I have to deal with this on my own. You know what I mean? I have to deal with, death threats from people, and that's exactly how I look at it. I don't look at it as any other way. I don't look at it as any other way. That's exactly what it is to me. Okay? White rage, death threats, Ku Klux Klan, let me fucking get in your face and threaten you. So you don't have to burn a cross on my lawn. What you can do is you can fuck with my numbers. You could sit here and do something else on social media. Just send your message. You know what I mean? And it just gets tiring. It gets very tiring. So anyway, I think it's getting pretty late. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But I do want to add that, the shock of it is that seriously, I was thinking how, all those years ago when I was just a kid, going to school and everything, and then when I came down here and moved and everything, I never realized that, that these things were connected. You know what I mean? Or even knew that somebody like I had no suspicion, no clue that I was ever involved in some sort of weird like experiment or anything like that. But I do understand throughout the years where my interest in things like Nazis come from, because in my past life I've obviously experienced this sort of interaction before, and this is the reason why. So it's eye opening, to me to find out just how much our past lives do affect who we are. Because I mean, when I used to always wonder, man, I'm only like 7. Why do I have an interest in shit like Hitler? You know what I mean? Yeah, I found that stuff very interesting, very very interesting, and more so than a kid would even be should be interested in at that age. And the reason why, when you start really putting past life shit together, it's like, wow, this makes sense. It makes total sense. And anyway, I am not a power hungry person. And I know that people think that another sign of white rage is when you're trying to do something and they take it personally, like it has something to do with them. What I have to do it has nothing to do with anybody. You know what I mean? It's just I obviously need to make a living, and I'm obviously have been wanting to record things relating to my life for very many years. You know what I mean? And since I'm no longer in the 9 to 5, I kept thinking, this is the greatest time to do it now. You know what I mean? I need to make money. And I also feel I have a great joy in teaching people other things, you know what I mean? So, but they look at it as, because of white rage, because this is the definition of it. White rage is when white people, out of the blue, see something that a minority is doing and fly into a rage and try to destroy it, stomp it out, conspire. They always think that everything that you do has something to do with an attack on the white race, which it doesn't. Okay, you know what it is? I need to pay my bills on time. Okay, my car just got repossessed. Okay, I didn't want to ruin my credit. This is exactly what it is. It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with me flipping the bird to Christianity. It had nothing to do with me, sticking it to the man. It had nothing to do with any of that. Okay, this obsession, white rage, is an obsession with thinking that everything is about them. It has nothing to do. I never didn't even gave any thought to any of that at all. Like the whole racial issue was never really on my mind. And honestly, truthfully, I feel like the topic of racism is so fucking goddamn boring at this point. It is extremely fucking boring to me because that shit don't matter to me at all. I've seen it over and over and over again. I've seen it played out in so many fucking times. People always wanting to compete, making a big fucking deal out of it. These people, here's the funny thing is, these are the people who are studying me. I'm the one who's being under their microscope. I'm not the one cracking the microscope, or looking at these people, observing these people. They're observing me. Okay, I'm not interested in any of that, nor have I shown any interest in that. I have never, everything that I do, my choices, have nothing to do with trying to beat or one up white people. I either do something for my level of comfort, or maybe I'm getting something, or making something, or doing something, minding my own goddamn business for my own entertainment, whatever it is. I don't sit here and fucking think about shit like that. Okay, it's not in my fucking, DNA to sit here and obsess about beating white people. I could care less, you know what I mean? And seriously, I don't care, you know what I mean? I'm just somebody who's trying to get on with their life. That's it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I didn't realize I was going to be talking for about 30 minutes. I actually only meant to speak for maybe like 15 minutes, okay? I thought about doing some celebrity coded messages today, and then I kept thinking, you know what, I'm going to wait until that, some other time when I'm a little bit more in a peppy mood. Okay, right now, like I said, I'm unwinding my thoughts from earlier today, and it's unrealistic to think that I would not be upset, or that I would not take offense to somebody basically trying to make me feel like something was wrong with my race. There's nothing wrong with my race. Okay, I'm tired. But what is wrong with my race to racist people is the fact that I'm comfortable with who I am, and that bothers them. Like I said, it has nothing to do with what I do, what I think, how I live. Has nothing to do. My brain is not focused on the race, the what do you call it? The let me race to the finish line. Let me see if I can beat white people. I don't give a shit about it. It's never fucking been in my mind. I don't waste my time with such frivolous shit. it's beyond frivolous, especially when you think about the kind of people who get behind this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you're the guys who have everything. You're the guys who sit here and can get limos. You're the guys who can sit here and like shuffle people around like fucking chess pieces, and you fucking take pleasure in hurting other people who've never fucking goddamn even done anything to you. When I was thinking about the whole white rage thing, I was thinking about Lever 14. Okay, here I am, a person, I've never fucking did anything to this motherfucker ever. Wouldn't even think to. Okay, I don't know this person very well, but at least I appreciate him as an artist, right? White rage did nothing to him. He wants to sit here and put me in a fucking genocide program. Why? Just because. And so I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I was reflecting on all these things that people said about white people all these years, telling me about how wicked they are, how they fucking, every single last one of them on the face of this earth could not possibly be any good. Okay, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I don't want to fucking believe that. But it makes you wonder when somebody you don't even fucking goddamn know, that you've done absolutely nothing fucking goddamn to, comes into your life and sits here and thinks that they can fucking start manipulating shit. I don't know, okay? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Woo, I had to get it out. I had to. I'm going to wrap up this video. So anyway, hopefully tomorrow I'll be in a cheerful mood because I do want to say a few things to some of the celebrities. And I hope you guys have a wonderful good night. Take care.